Hey everybody, welcome to our webinar today on 100 Healthy Days. I'm excited about this program. We're gonna sit tight for a few minutes and do some intro stuff until let some more of our people come on board. We'll spend a little time. I see already we have a very good crowd. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this. We've been doing this for doctors, chiropractors around the world for the last 15 years, and certainly a lot of you I have met on my travels and speaking to different organizations, companies around the country and around the world. So we appreciate you joining us here again today. We wanted to reach out directly to you, the people, individuals that were ready, willing, wanting to change their life. We're going to talk about amazing life-changing strategies that have helped people lose weight, change jobs, improve their jobs, get raises, improve their relationships, get off the roller coaster ride. We're going to go through all of that, and we're going to start today in just a minute or two with this first class program webinar on 100 Healthy Days. So let's see who we got. I'm going to step a little closer. I'm going to move in and out. We're videoing, by the way, which is back there, and then we have the webinar webcam here. So if I go back and forth, it's not because your eyes are deceiving you. It's because we're having a little fun and we're experimenting with the production. So I know that I see Georgia on the line. I see, again, Massachusetts, Virginia, Colorado's on the line. Hey, Maggie. Dr. Vaughn, thanks for joining us. Dr. Bueller, California. Jean Bressler is raising her hand there. I see you. Thank you for saying hello and for reaching out. I see Virginia. Utah's on the line. California, South Florida, Brian Middledorf. Even my friends from Blue Road Day Camp are here on the line. So exciting to have you here, Brian. Thanks for being on the line. It's going to be amazing. Yep, I see your hand. So we'll take some questions in just a little bit. We'll give you an opportunity to type in your questions, to say a few words, and we are going to have a lot of fun. So another minute or so, I'm going to do a time check over here with my team. What time we got? 1:04. Okay, so one more minute and we're going to get going. I see Texas is on the line now. Really cool. So much fun we're going to have here. And more than that, we're going to get things done. We're going to make this the best year you've ever had and transition you to the best life possible, your 100-year lifestyle. It's going to be amazing. So here goes. You can see the screen, right? You can see the video, and recording is going. Okay, ready? Hey everybody, Dr. Eric Plasker here. Welcome to this webinar on 100 Healthy Days. It's actually going to be a webinar series. We'll talk about that at the end, because what we want to do is we want to make this the best year you've ever had, the best life you've actually ever had. We want you to get off of the roller coaster, the weight gains and weight losses, the stress and not stress, the relationship stress, jobs, commutes, work, kids, family, nutrition, what should you eat, what should you not eat. We're going to cover all of these over these 100 Healthy Days, and we're going to get started today with a great program on a compelling future and the life-changing principles. So what's really cool about this is we're going to take you from a journey from 100 healthy days or 100 days to a sensational centuries. We call it 100% for 100 years. I mean, come on, it sure beats 79% for 83 years or 64% for 81 years and any other numbers, sequence of numbers that you can come up with. And hey, why not? It is your life. It's time to make some changes. Nobody can do it for you. Hey, nobody can sleep for you. Nobody can eat for you. Nobody can sweat for you. These are all the things that you have to do for yourself. We're going to give you the motivation today to make that happen. And people ask all the time on this journey from 100 days or 100, the 100-year lifestyle, you know, what's with the number 100, Plasker? I mean, what's that really all about? And why are we talking about this? Well, listen, I'm in Marietta, Georgia. We are surrounded by assisted living centers. They are popping up all over the place because your 100 is coming. People are living longer than ever, but they are not living with quality of life like they do in so many other places in the world. In the United States and Canada, we blame it on maybe it's our genes, our genetics, that we're not as gifted as the rest of the world. That is completely not true. 100-year-old people are the world's fastest growing group. So maybe it's not 100. Maybe for you it'll be 93, 87, or 74. Whatever your number is, we want it to be amazing. Here's the fact. The fact is that the trend is continuing, that 100-year-old people are, percentage-wise, one of the world's fastest growing groups. And we know because, listen, many of us, we have had casualties along the way in our life. We've lost people that we love who did not make it to their extended life. And maybe it's because of their lifestyle choices. Maybe they were out of balance, worked way too much, didn't play enough. Maybe they weren't doing things that they love. Maybe they destroyed their health and caused so much deterioration along the way. Listen, the trend is continuing. There are casualties along the way. And here's the thing. You're on this webinar or you're watching this webinar, so you're not one of those casualties, at least not yet. You have the opportunity to change. The one thing that you have control over are the choices that you make for yourself, for your family, what you do, what you eat, how you live, all of those things. We're going to talk about that throughout this webinar. And here's the other thing. And why is this important as it relates to 100 Healthy Days? Because we're going to reach deep inside of you and tap into motivation that maybe you didn't even know existed about why you need to make some of these changes. So you may be saying, well, I don't want to live till we're 100. Okay, well, what's your number? What's your number? Is it 73? Is it 87? Is it 94? And you realize it's not about the number at all. It's about quality of life every day along the way. That's what 100 Healthy Days is all about, getting you to embrace quality of life changes today that will make your life better today while also helping you to enjoy and appreciate what could be a sensational century for you. And there are some of you, you have been living moment to moment to moment. You live by the motto, well, what if I only had 24 hours to live? Hey, I understand that. I'm all about 100% for 100 years. But here's the thing. If you only live like you had 24 hours to live every day, a year's going to go by, you'll be on a roller coaster, and a year from now, you'll probably be crippled, broken, alone from all the destruction that you've created just for living, just for the day. We don't want that for you. We want you to live 100 healthy days, make some changes on your way to a sensational century. There's an exercise that you can get on 100yearlifestyle.com if you haven't taken it already, where you calculate what's called your empire, which stands for your minimum potential years remaining. It's your empire. Your minimum potential years remaining. And it's an easy calculation. You take the oldest relative in your family that ever lived, subtract your current age, and you get your empire formula. Somebody, if you do that, you're going to get a calculation. It's going to give you the result, and they'll give you some tips if you want, different than we're going over today, but we'll also give you some tips that we're going to cover here throughout this webinar. So do that calculation so that you get a perspective of what's going to be the reality of your potential life expectancy. And then to get things rolling with 100 Healthy Days, we want you to create a compelling vision and lifelong change, not just for the short term, but for the long term. Listen, it is very frustrating for people to be on that roller coaster ride. You go out, you lose the weight, you go shopping, you buy new clothes, 6 months later, nothing fits you anymore. Come on, it's expensive, it's out of control, and you do it, many of us do it year after year after year. It is time to get off the roller coaster ride. You know, there are some of us that just to get through the day, we medicate, we take pills and drugs that alter our physiology and the way we feel just in the moment today. And then we get side effects, digestive problems, and other types of neurological issues and heart palpitations and so many other things that we think we blame on age, but it's the reality. The reality of it is that that lifestyle of altering feelings chemically creates so many long-term problems. We see it in this Alzheimer's population, that so much of that is caused by long-term medication use that nobody really talks about, except if you do some research and you do your homework. So listen, we want you to think long-term and make compelling changes, develop a compelling vision for your life, and then live that life every single day along the way. So you're going to find out that, to have a little bit of fun, we're going to go through some poems together, poems that I wrote that I think will give you a vision for the future, maybe keep you motivated. This one goes like this. It says, life is a marathon, one sprint at a time. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spine. Do what you love and love what you do. Go for the gold. Be fearless, be bold. Life will surprise you. The road will wind. Stand up to the challenge. You're surely to find you've got to have nerve to adjust to it all. Your 100 is coming. You make the call. Come on, it's a marathon, this long life. How many times have you thought about making these changes that you know that you need to make to improve your quality of life, and you wake up the next day or the next year and have to think about making those same changes all over again. We don't want you to do that. We're going to talk right now about motivation. What has been your motivation for change? At the core of long-term changes is a compelling vision for a long life that makes you happy, that keeps you inspired, that keeps you focused for the long haul. A compelling vision. And doing it not just with crisis motivation, but doing it for quality of life motivation. Let me give you an example of the two of them. Crisis motivation is, oh my God, I don't feel good. I got to start taking care of myself. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. I need a vacation desperately. That's crisis motivation. Whereas lifestyle motivation, quality of life motivation, is waking up inspired to do the things that you want to do. And even if you have to do some things that aren't your favorite things in the whole world, you know that your life, you're setting up your life and you're living your life, or it's financing your life to support the other things outside of your work or outside of the other things that may not be your favorite activities. So crisis motivation and quality of life motivation, choose your motivation. I'll give you a quick story about crisis motivation versus quality of life motivation. So many people living from crisis to crisis. Crisis motivation is based on need. Oh my God, I need this. I need that. I need this. I need companionship. And then you get it. And then you lose it all of a sudden. So you find it again and you bounce around from relationship to relationship, crisis to crisis to crisis, trying to fill needs. Health needs, Advil to Motrin to Tylenol, thinking that it's going to solve the problem long term. It's not going to solve the problem long term. You got to be willing to change your life, quality of life motivation. Hey, crisis motivation is you want to go buy the latest new cool phone. Quality of life, that's quality of life motivation. Crisis motivation is, damn it, I can't get the phone because I need new tires on my car. Come on, you got to think about how are you making your choices? What are you letting motivate you? When it comes to finances, it's very important that are you living from crisis to crisis, just living in survival? I get a little worked up, by the way. My team is saying back up and calm down a little bit. I'm used to being on the stage in front of a lot of people. So if I get in your face, it's just because I love you and I'm passionate about what we're doing. So the difference between need versus want, so important. Shifting your motivation, need to want. We're going to do an exercise at the end of this presentation that'll give you the opportunity to list the key changes, the wants that you have to support the quality of life that you deserve. The transition from crisis to lifestyle is a transition from need to want. And when you start to say what you want and start aligning your life with the choices that support you getting what you want, I'm telling you, the world starts to look different. A lot of you will say, well, you know what, Plasker? Some people are just lucky. No, that is not true. Yes, some people are lucky, but the reality of it is that most people, they're just making choices that put them in the position to be lucky. I had a chiropractor, a good friend, 100-year lifestyle affiliate doctor, great practice in South Carolina. She said to me, Jamie Coxon said to me, you know, when people say to me, Dr. Plasker, that you're just lucky that you're thin, you're just lucky that you're healthy, she said to me, it really makes me a little crazy because they don't really understand that I have chosen this life. I have chosen these choices. You have the opportunity to do the same. Lisa has said to me on many occasions, she said, no, thin people would compliment her and say, wow, you're lucky you're thin. And she says, no, you know, obesity runs in my family. Thin is a choice for me. So listen, if you want to get lucky on a regular basis, start making changes that are good for you. And when you stop, things will get bad again. That's the roller coaster ride. So watch, learn to love the things that are good for you and make those things your new ideal 100-year lifestyle, starting right now with these 100 healthy days that are starting today. Now, some of you are going to say, well, Dr. Plasker, do you really understand what I'm going through? And yes, I do understand. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. I'm embarrassed to show you what I'm about to show you because it shows a little bit about my journey I have had to overcome like many of you. This was me at 29 years old, my chiropractic practice at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Buckhead, Atlanta, taking care of Isaiah Thomas, now Hall of Famer. 29 years old, fit and healthy. Here's the next picture. This is me at age 40. 50 pounds heavier. Age 40, 50 pounds heavier, taking care of Usher, one of my patients who I took care of for years. And I look at this picture, I'm saying, who is that guy standing next to Usher? It's the same person. There's a lot of you that are blaming. You're assigning blame to the things that are not working for you on things that might be out of your control, like your genetics. It wasn't my genetics that caused this. It was lifestyle choices that caused this. Why is this exciting? Because when you make some changes, here's me at age 55 on the set of The Haunting of Hill House, adjusting so many of these actors and professional athletes using chiropractic care as a part of a lifestyle, making these lifestyle changes. Here I am with Carla Gugino, adjusting her on the set here. Again, 50 pounds lighter again, not because I grew out of those pounds, by the way, as I aged. No, I actually made the lifestyle changes that we're talking about with you that are mindset oriented. And you're saying, some of you may be thinking, well, Pascal, what's the fad diet you're going to give me? Wrong training call, wrong webinar. This is not about a fad diet. It's not about the fad diet that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. It's not about the same diet that changed its name 5 times. I'm talking about you changing your life in a way that you make the changes that you know you need to make, and make those changes your new lifestyle. If I could do it, you can do it. So here's a statement that I want you to think about. It's profound. It's philosophical. It's scientific. It's meaningful. And it's deep. It's really deep. And it'll drive you making choices moving forward from this point. It goes like this. Your innate intelligence will organize around the thoughts that you think, the choices that you make, and the lifestyle that you live. So make choices with your long-term health and well-being in mind. Now, what does this really mean? Your body has within it an innate intelligence that will organize itself around the things that you do think. Why is that important? If you overeat, if you eat the wrong foods, your body will adapt. This innate intelligence, it's not going to kill you. It's going to do everything it can to keep you alive and sustain you in spite of you. Some of you are on the line and you're thinking, well, I got the worst habits in the world. And, it's amazing that I'm still here. Yes, if you didn't have this innate intelligence, you probably could have been dead a long time ago. If you overeat and your body didn't adapt, your body would explode. Your blood and guts would be all over the place because your body wouldn't have had the ability to adapt. But you do. This innate intelligence gives you the ability to adapt. Just like I showed you on the pictures of myself, the body's ability to adapt. You have that same ability if you change the way you think about things, you make different choices, and you change your lifestyle, which is why this first session is not going to be about fad things to do, and I'm going to give you some to-dos by the end of this call. I want you to have the mindset for lasting change. That's really what it's all about. Because remember, your 100 is coming. You make the call. You will see yourself as you make different choices. Your body will start to heal itself. You'll start to regenerate. You'll begin to thrive. So exciting how that happens. And so let's go deep again inside of you about the changes that you know you need to make. Start making this list. Here's a really good question. Do you know that you need to make some changes? And the answer is probably yes. The next question is, what are those changes that you know that you need to make? Not the ones that I want you to make, not the one that your spouse wants you to make, not the one that your other significant people in your life, your mother, your father, your brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, bosses, or whatever, not the changes that everybody else wants you to make. What are the changes that you know that you need to make? Well, here's the next question. How long have you known that you've needed to make these changes? And the answer is probably, wow, Dr. Plasker, a long time. Okay, so here's the next question then. Is not making those changes that you know that you need to make causing you some level of suffering? The answer is probably yes. And if that's the case, then there's only one thing worse than suffering, and that's suffering for 100 years. It's perpetual suffering. So sometimes these changes are things that you have to eat, how you think about things. For a lot of people, it's our thoughts that cause so much of our stress and our challenge. What we eat, do we move, do we not move? Listen, every one of you on the line here, every one of you has a different list. Some may have similarities, but it's your list. This is very personal. So start making a list of the changes that you know you need to make, and then begin to focus every single day in making those changes with every choice, following the 3 life-changing principles. So the 3 principles, the 3 life-changing principles of the 100-year lifestyle, they go like this. The first one is, it's the magnet principle. The second one is the persistence principle. The third one is the compelling principle. So the 3 life-changing principles of the 100-year lifestyle are the magnet principle, the persistence principle, and the compelling principle. Let's start with the magnet principle. This is one of my favorites, by the way. The magnet principle goes like this. It says, change is easy, thinking about change is hard. That is so true. Making a change, like drawing a line in the sand and saying you're going to eat the right things every time you're faced with a choice, that's easy. I'll tell you what's hard. It's like, should I eat good today or should I not eat good today? Should I get up and work out today? Should I not get up and work out today? Should I put some money away today? Should I not? Should I invest in myself today or should I not invest in myself? Should I go get the adjustment, feel better, be aligned, balanced, or should I not and just continue to suffer? Listen, change is easy. Thinking about change is hard. Why is it called the magnet principle? I love this. If you've ever played with magnets, here's how it works. If you take 2 magnets where you have the 2 north poles of the magnet facing each other, what do the magnets do? Well, the magnets naturally will repel each other because the natural law of magnetism states that like poles repel each other. Now, if you worked really hard, think about this. Some of you, I'm talking directly to you about your life right now. If you tried really hard to hold it together, you probably could, and you'd be exhausted. And the second you let up, bam, it repels. Why? Because the natural law of magnetism states that like poles repel. Now, here's life-changing principle number 1, the magnet principle. You ready? What happens if I take one of the magnets and I flip it around and do a magnet flip? Now, what happens to the magnets if you bring them anywhere near each other? They stick. Because when you have a north pole and the south pole of a magnet facing each other, they attract. That's the law of attraction. Now, here's my really favorite part. Are you ready? Now, instead of requiring energy to hold it together, it requires energy to pull them apart. Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Some of you are thinking, wow, I've been wasting so much energy in my life trying to hold things together, trying to control things that are out of my control, trying to make people be something that they're not, trying to this or that or the other thing, trying to eat too much sugar and not gain weight or not feel sick. It's just not the way that it works. It's time that you make a magnet flip. That's life-changing principle number 1. It's change is easy. Thinking about change is hard. So how do you do that? You draw a line in the sand. When I was between Isaiah Thomas and Usher and taking care of them, I was eating all kinds of chocolate, all kinds of things that weren't good for me. And you say, well, Plasko, but you're a chiropractor, you're an author. What happened to you? Why? Listen, I had so many things going on in my life, 3 kids close together, having practices, all those, trying to figure it all out. And I just, like many of you, hey, I'm a human, forgot myself for a little while. But then woke up one day and realized, wow, it's time to make some changes. And I drew a line in the sand, just like you're going to draw a line in the sand. And when you do that, my friends, no more talking food. The food stops talking to you. The sugar stops talking to you. And you say, no, you're a liar. Don't talk to me. You're a liar. You think you're a treat. You're really a trick. You're a liar. And you block it all out. Listen, that's the magnet principle. So when you make your list of the changes that you know you need to make, draw a line in the sand. Life-changing principle number 1, the magnet principle. Next, and by the way, This is a great article on 100yearlifestyle.com, the movie of you. Then as you go about your day, you watch yourself like you're watching a movie. And when you find yourself faced with those choices, you commit to that change that you knew that you needed to make, which leads us to life-changing principle number 2, the persistence principle. The persistence principle says change comes one choice at a time. Think progress, not perfection. Where does quit fit in this process? The answer is quit doesn't fit. Here's another poem that I wrote. Motivation for you. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. When the tough get going, things begin to change. When things begin to change, the tough keep going. When the tough keep going, they begin to build momentum. So many of you stop short of this part, so you never get momentum. Just as things start to get good, you sabotage it. You destroy it. You let your mind get in the way. Your thoughts get in the way. Bad habits get in the way. No, quit doesn't fit. And when the tough build momentum, things start to become great. When things become great, the tough grow humble. And when the tough grow humble, they begin to give back. And when the tough give back, they often wonder what took them so long to get going, change, keep growing, build momentum, become great, grow humble, and give back. Where does quit fit in this story? The answer is quit doesn't fit. No shortcut to that. It comes from within you. And then lastly, the compelling principle. Why is a long-term vision so important? Because if you have a long-term vision, then it becomes compelling. The more you clarify it with time, it becomes compelling. It's motivating through the ups and the downs. There will be times, my friends, that life punches you in the nose and it knocks you down, you fall down, you make a mistake, something happens that's out of your control. Those things happen. And so what's important for you to understand is that if you develop a long-term vision, if you're going to make changes, make them with your long-term vision in mind. Here's Ida Keeling, 101 years old. She started running at the age of 67. 67. She changed her life at 67 because she was depressed because of the murder of her sons. They got into the drug thing, she said, and it motivated her. It not motivated her, but then she just started running. She started to change her life. Otherwise, she would have died. And now, 101 years old, she's famous for running the 100-year-old dash or the 100-year dash at the World Masters Games. Amazing woman. Here's a picture of me with Papa High at 100 on his 100th birthday, actually. Listen, this man had survived hurricanes, so many challenges in life. You're going to be faced with so many storms in your life. We all are. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. Don't be narcissistic. Make the changes that you know that you need to make. Think long term. You deserve the compelling future that is inside of your heart and soul. You really do, my friends. So listen, it's time to make your list. I want you to make a list of the immediate goals and changes that you know deep down in your heart that you want to make, not need, that you want to make. The 5 immediate changes that you want to make. And then I want you to list the 5 long-term and lasting goals and changes that you want to make. This is not my list. This is your list, my friends. This is your list. And then keep this list with you every time you're faced with a choice. Add to the list. Delete things from the list. Build this list out and begin to make the changes that are on your list of the changes that you know that you need to make. This is so important. Some of you say, well, I only have 2 things, Dr. Plasker. Some of you are going to say, well, Dr. Plasker, there's only 5 lines. I have 87 things. It's just a starting point. If you have 87, have at it. It's your life. It's your sensational century. We want you to just get started with 100 healthy days on your road to a sensational century. Keep this list with you everywhere you go and build on it. Let it be the reminder that you need to make the changes that you know that you need to make. A couple of things that we have as extra motivation on 100yearlifestyle.com. We have some 100% for 100 years shirts that if you want to work out in them, they're really comfortable, really cool. Let it be a reminder and motivation for you. That poem, Where Does Quit Fit? It's also great motivation. We have a male and female version. Hang it on your wall. Let it inspire you. This is what it looks like on beautiful people instead of mannequins. And then I want to remind you and let you know about next week at this time, we're going to do another webinar. It's continuation of 100 Healthy Days. It'll be the next phase of it. It's called Finding the Energy to Change Your Life. You're going to discover energy that you never knew you had. You're going to absolutely love it. We're going to take some questions and comments in just a minute if there are any. Be on the lookout for this email that you're going to get that's going to give you an opportunity to register for next week's webinar. We would love to have you back. And what we'd love for you to also do is to share this webinar with your family, friends, and coworkers. Forward the link to them so they can join us. We are going to make this, if they missed it, we will make this webinar available on our YouTube channel temporarily. We'll also make it available in some other places, so be on the lookout for it there. And then you can register again. Register by clicking Join the Webinar. It's a separate one than you did for this particular webinar. So click Join the Webinar from this particular email. Be on the lookout for it. It's going to come to you very soon after this webinar. And then once you click on it, we're also going to send you another gift. We're going to send you a free ebook, which is the action plan that we're talking about of the 100-Year Lifestyle second edition. This is the action plan. It's a free ebook with a guidebook that's going to walk you through this 100 healthy days. So listen, my colleagues, my friends, we are so excited to be on this journey with you. You deserve to be healthy and express your full potential from the time you're born through your last breath of life, and to express your full potential for your entire lifetime. Yes, you do. I want to thank the 100-Year Lifestyle affiliate chiropractors that are on the line and the other doctors that are on the line that have been referring their family, friends, and coworkers to this webinar series. We want to be a part of your journey. Listen, as we say, healthcare is rising all around the world as people are waking up to this consciousness of their longevity potential and transforming their own life while collectively we transform the planet. Hey, let's see if you have any questions and or comments. Thanks for being on the line, everybody. All right, let's see. You can raise your hand. You can type in. You leave it. Type in a question. Type in a comment. Anybody? Good turnout here for the first one. Doctors, people, friends, family. I know some of you are showing it in your reception room. So if there are no questions or comments, oh, got one. Let's see. Awesome job. Great webinar. That was terrific. Okay, those aren't questions, but I'll take them. Thank you, Doc. I'm grateful for the message. Hey, I'm grateful for you. Awesome. Francis, Dawn, me, and Nicole enjoyed seeing you. Wow. 4 people in one webinar. That's pretty cool. All right, everybody. Listen, so grateful to be a part. Let's see more. Can you review how to best share this with the world again? Yes, you will get an email on that, but we're going to put it up on YouTube, right? We're going to put this one up on YouTube for a limited time, and then we're also going to make this available. Be on the lookout for an email for the next webinar. Question.
What breaks your heart? From Ken Cook.
What
breaks your heart?
What breaks my heart? Wow, that's a great question. I don't know that I ever thought about that, so let me think for a minute. I would tell you, for me, what breaks my heart is seeing people not live up to their potential. I see so many people out there that are suffering. I drive up and down this road where my office is, and I see these assisted living centers popping up all over the place. And I see the ambulances going in and out of these beautiful souls that are trapped in bodies that have, to me, it's human potential that was wasted. That people dying with their music still in them, people not able to share their wisdom in the world, and blaming it on old age. It makes me crazy. It bothers me when I know that in other cultures, the wisdom of the elderly is such an important part of the growth of society. I think it's one of the reasons why in our country in particular we are having so many challenges, is because we are just putting this wisdom in homes and seeing them suffer. I saw my father rot away for a decade. That broke my heart. I can relate to that. I've had see children that are injured through all types of atrocities that are going on, or not eating healthy foods, squandering human potential. So if you wanted to know what breaks my heart, it's seeing people not function at their highest level for a lifetime. It's why I chose to be a chiropractor, by the way, because by what I do, I get to help people function at their highest level for a lifetime. And with this message of the 100-Day Lifestyle, we're giving people the opportunity to rethink how they want to live their life. So that's a good question, Dr. Ken. You got me thinking this morning. So I hope that answered your question. Let's see, who else? Best way to share it. Have to work during your webinar. Can we watch? Let's see. During your webinar, can we watch them on YouTube? Yes, as I said, Randy, thank you for reaching out. This one will be for a limited time on YouTube. Yes, so be on the lookout for it. We'll upload it as soon as possible. Thanks, Dr. Bruce. Appreciate your kind words. My pleasure, Ken. Thank you. Wow, what an honor to be inducted in this first webinar. Hey, Brian, thanks for being on the line, everybody. Blue Roll Day Camp. Never forget. Love that, man. Next week. Listen, remember, everybody, register for next week. You're going to get an email. It's probably on its way to you. It's flying through email, fly to you land. So, so be on the lookout. It's coming your way. All righty. Hey, love and appreciate you, everybody. Thanks again.